Hey, I'm happy to have you here. I'm very excited for today's workshop. But in the next 60 minutes, I want to go through how you can productize your method, how that can be used in your business. And I have 3 words here for you that I want to go through with you step by step. I want you to end today with 2 things. I want you to be clear on why you want to productize your method, and I want you to have at least 2 initial ideas. This is our main goal for today. So let's get started. I'm super excited to be doing this. I want to start by using the word anchor. And I've chosen this word on purpose because a product can do a lot of different things. And productizing your method, there are obvious reasons why that can be great, because you can help other people use your method, but there are more reasons why this can be a good idea. Let me show you a few products that I have with me. So here I have lots of different products of my own, a new sample of a new product that I'm creating, and some of the members of Impact Stationery Creator Product. I want to show you a few more of the products that we have been creating here. So what we've been doing in Impact Stationery Creators over the past years now, we help people create products out of their methods. And we usually find 2 different types of people that join us, either coaches or people that have a service business, an expert business. And we do have people that have created their own methodologies. They have been very passionate about a topic, and they've always dreamed about having a product. And these are some of the products that over time have been created within our community. And I want to show you that there's so many types of topics, different types of products that can be created. And today I want you to be here with an open mind and explore with me what that could possibly look like. But before we can think of like, hey, do we want to create a card deck, or do we want to create a journal? Do we want to create a notepad? We need to first really know why we're doing this. And that's where the word anchor comes in. As I mentioned, usually we have 2 different types of people. We have expert business owner, and that could be a coach, a therapist, a service provider, an online business owner that has an expertise, has a certain methodology where they're leading their clients from point A to point B. So usually they guide people through different steps to reach a goal. And a lot of people that fit into this camp have created products that will support the customers get from A to B. But also they have used this as a form of anchoring themselves as the go-to person, right? Let me make this slightly bigger to make it easier to read. Become the go-to in an industry authority. It goes in a similar route as a funnel. So what does this even mean? What is a funnel? It's basically an attraction tool, right? A way to get new people, so new people into your world, a way to open doors, being invited in media, maybe becoming a speaker, having different engagement, being on a podcast, collaborating with someone. This one, creating a new income stream. And something that I really like a lot is building an asset. So you're building something that is worth something tomorrow. So building an exit, if you choose to want to exit one day, right? Having a physical product business does increase the value of your business, or it can at least increase the value of your business and can be a way to exit later on. And of course, it can be all of those things at the same time while building credibility and being memorable, right? Being someone that has a physical product that is similar to what we find with books, that it gives you like the book benefit without writing a book. If you already have a book, it can work with a book as well as an implementation tool. And it's a beautiful way not only to build trust with people that you want to work with, but also to attract new people that you want to work with. This was the first type of person that tends to want to productize the method. And also we have a second group of people that want to productize a business. And it's usually a person that has gone themselves from A to B. They're usually passionate about a topic. They have found a unique methodology for themselves. For example, imagine a mother of 5 kids that has figured out a really great meal prepping way or a way to organize day-to-day life, or someone who has run 30 marathons already and has gotten just a really amazing way to prep for a marathon, and they want to pass that on to other people, right? So it's often passing on what you've learned and a form of building a legacy. Often these are people that dream of creating a business out of something that they're passionate about. And these two can overlap, but usually I find both. Some are in this camp. They don't intend to have a service business. They want to purely stay within a physical product business, and they want to pass on what they've learned. And then here we have an expert online business, in most cases, a service business, and they want to add a physical product component to what they're already doing, and then combine the digital space with the physical space. Now, why do we want to know this ahead of time? Because depending on what you want to do, you might approach this from a different point of view, right? So depending on what it is that you want to do, you might approach this from a different point of view, right? Because let's say you have a service business, you might have an online community, or you might have a coaching business, a mastermind, one-on-one coaching, and you're thinking of adding a physical element, one, to maybe reduce the one-on-one work or reducing the dependency on your time and exchanging time for money, which in many service businesses, that's what is often needed. And you want to increase the impact that you can have by being able to reach a lot more people with the products that you're creating by giving your method to a product. And by doing that, you get to self-anchored, or you build an anchor into the market, and also as a way for people to find you. Where would you say you see yourself more? Or do you see yourself as a combination of both? Would you say you want to purely create a physical product business, or would you like to build it alongside an existing business? Because depending on where you are at, we can look at how this might look like for you and what types of products could fit you really well. I can share what the path that I have taken. This has been my path that I have taken. So I've been a personal development nerd and junkie for years. I've read all the books, and I've been always trying to improve the things that I've struggled with the most. One of the biggest pain points that I've had in my life has been dealing with my ADHD. I had tons and tons of goals, and I would create the vision boards, and I would write my goal list, and I could just not achieve anything. Like I was all over the place, and I just couldn't get myself there. I've done lots of personal development, and over time, I figured out a way that worked for me. And this is how one of my very first products actually got on the market, which is the ADHD Planner, which I've created in 2020. And it totally transformed my life. But it was also a way for me to create a product I wanted to have, and by that, sharing it with other people. Since I have put it on the market, this particular product has sold over 70,000 copies. And in total, I've created a few more products. Some are behind me. And I was able to sell over 160,000 copies. I think by now it should be a bit more. I have to redo my calculations. But a lot of people that I was able to touch or impact. Some people loved it. Some people felt like, oh, it's fine, And I was able to create a business by passing on what I've learned. And I didn't have any digital part to it. I purely just sold physical products. And over the past few years, I've made over $4 million just selling products that I felt I wanted to have on the market, and by sharing things that I found helpful. And this is what I keep continuing doing. So I have a few samples here of products, not on the market yet, just samples of ways that I am improving. Okay, I'll open one of these and I'll show you quickly. So this is one sample of a product that I'm still in the developing phase, and it is a system to help me gamify my productivity. And here again, I'm in this category. I have on and off issues with productivity. So I've created a gamification of what actually works for me. And I like sticky notes. I work a lot with sticky notes. And sometimes I don't want a planner. Sometimes I just want a sticky note I can just rip and I can stick somewhere. I can put my timer on. I work a lot with like visual timers, and then put my music on and then I get it done. And it works like magic on me. And this is why I create these products, one, because I want to use them myself, and because I know by passing it on and bringing it to the masses, I will be able to impact others while creating a business that I really like. Because I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is going to help you. Like, you want to be more productive, then do this. So this has been my path. And as I was sharing more about it over the years, I got to work with a lot more established businesses that were often coaches, or they had or they were therapists. So you will find a lot of the products that I've worked with are in the mental health space. And a lot of the mental health journals that you find on Amazon are actually created by people from our community and people that we've worked with. Here's a beautiful example as well. This is by our lovely member, Leah. She is an expert in nervous system regulation. She likes to say nervous system care that helps build that resilience and also navigate through life. I love what she's done with her product. This is actually a sample. Here's still some notes of when we created this product. And she was able to pass on her knowledge in a form of a beautiful journal that helps people, and she's created a journaling community around it as well, and has since launched a new product, which I think it's so beautiful. It's also about nervous system care. It's a journal, but it's also, these are cards. I haven't opened them yet. I just received them from Amazon, but they're very beautiful. Can I show it? They're beautiful prompt cards. I love what she's done. And then here with, why did she create this type of product? Because it's a beautiful addition to something that is, let's say, less intense. It's a card that someone can pick up. They can journal in their notebook. They can use the journal that comes with it as well. There's less structure. It allows a lot more flexibility. And for someone who might feel overwhelmed in that moment, it's a lighter version because it's less structured as well. So it helps people. It's still the same person that these products can help, but just at different times. This is also why I'm creating different types of products, and I'm going to talk about it. It's the third word for today, vessel. So we'll be talking about that. This is why I also create different types of products using different methodologies that I've learned in different vessels. So one is a lot lighter. Like, this is the type of product I need when I'm like, oh, so overwhelmed. I don't want to pick up a planner because I'm like, I feel planner shame because I didn't fill out the day before. And the day before, I'm like, I don't want to be faced with that. Just give me a paper. I want to write on it, but I don't want a blank paper because I don't know what to write on it. Give me some structure. I'm already overwhelmed. I need to know, okay, here, my task, my first tiny step. What's the first tiny step? Tack. And then I'm already getting unstuck in my brain. Put on my timer. Works like a magic pill for me, having a physical visual timer, because then it's similar to using, when you use Google Maps with a car and it says estimated time of arrival and you're like, I'm going to beat that time. So when I'm writing down that I'm going to do something, and this is what the time it's going to take and I'm using a visual timer, in my brain, I just want to beat the timer. If I don't put any timer and I don't even think of how much time it could take, the task could be endless, because there's no internal brain motivation. So these are different things that over time I find are helpful, and I need different vessels, different days, different vessels. Here we have different vessels. Essence is similar, but it's just for different days or even different people, that want it more structured or want a little bit more free flow. I love all the different types of products that I'm creating around personal development, productivity, and just improving life. But what I'm thinking is creating a bit of a hybrid model here, where I'm creating a physical business plus a community. This is something that I have been starting this year. And so I want the physical product. So this is a physical product plus community and maybe some digital products in there as well. But that's what I'm doing. This is my hybrid model of both, doing a bit of both without going into the coaching bit. The reason why I chose it this way is because I did not see myself doing one-on-one coaching or even group coaching around those topics. I've always seen myself as the user of the products and someone who just wants to create them. Many, however, I find do have already existing coaching businesses and would love to have things that they can give to their clients, or something that they find can help them attract new clients, that are not just PDF files, are not just like digital files. I think especially now with the AI world and content being readily available everywhere, I think there's just something very magical around having a physical product, and it's exciting. You have it next to you. It's not going to collect dust in some Google Drive. I mean, the amount of PDFs and guides and checklists and things that I've downloaded from random people online, I would not even know that I have it. Like, I think just cleaning up my Google Drive, I would be surprised to find all of the different things that I've downloaded and truly never really used, or maybe just used for a little bit. I find the experience is just very different to having an actual physical product in hand. And even if you don't use it for a few weeks or a few months, you come across it at some point again in your house. And it's just a different relationship that you end up building. And also, I think it's a very interesting thing if we think of like perceived credibility. If I see, let's say, a weight loss coach that has like a really nice created physical product around helping me lose weight, for example, I immediately subconsciously feel like, oh, that person is more legit. Even though that might not be true at all, right? But it's just similar to someone having a book. It's just, if you know that they've put in the effort to create a physical product, I just immediately feel a little bit different. And if going through the product, I feel like, hey, this has been great. Like, you have something else to offer. You have a community. You have something. Of course, I already have trust because I already gotten a great first impression, beautiful, well-made product, great content, and yeah, I want to know more what you're doing, right? Like, I think it's a beautiful way to build that up. And I don't think these things are happening consciously as much as they happen. It's just on the feeling level of like, yeah, they're legit. And I think it's so underestimated what power a physical product can have. I'm just in the middle of a pre-order launch finishing. And today I saw a beautiful comment. This was for one of, you probably know her, Evelyn's product. So I supported Evelyn in creating this product and a second product as well. So it's a bundle. And today I read this beautiful post of a wonderful lady that said she found the ad for the planner. She didn't know Evelyn before that, but just because of that beautiful product, she went on and found all the other things that she's doing and has joined Evelyn's programs and so on. And the first impression that a physical product can make can have such a beautiful ripple effect on how the person interacts with other things that you're doing as well. I'm not saying it's the only way of doing it, but I think it's an underestimated way that you can really build that up. And when you then also have a product that opens doors, right? Like you get on podcast interviews and so on, continue. That can have a beautiful ripple effect. So I've created this Level Up Journal Club a few months now, and we are at 1,000 members, which is really cool. And this community is going to remain free. I've been thinking about that deeply a lot. I've been thinking, should I make it paid, like a small price, or would I make it free? And the reason why I want to make it free is I want to, at some point, I'm going to turn on ads again, and I'm going to really grow. And my goal is to grow it as much as possible. And also I want people that got my products to join. So all new products are having a QR code. And this QR code is leading them into the journal club. So no matter what type of new product, like here as well, here it's in the guidebook, they're going to be prompted to join the Level Up Club. And my goal is to have people that don't know about my product and people that are using my products to go and then interact as well and build a beautiful community around it. And I want to keep it free for that reason, because I think if you're purchasing a product and then the community is paid, I think there can be a little bit of more of like, and if it's free, I think it's a different experience. At least this is how I would feel like. I would like that. If then from the free, there is a paid version, there could be like a paid community coming out of the free. But I think the first interaction would be great as a free. That's at least my theory. And what I'm doing is I'm starting to add products, digital products in here that people can purchase. So this is, for example, $9. People will be able to purchase as soon as we make it fully live. We only added that today. Yeah, it's buy only, $9. For me, it shows up as free because it's my community. But these are things that I'm starting to add so that I can monetize the community a bit. But these are purely optional and they get free resources still. And if they want to get some of the digital products, they can do that here. And I have, for example, integration cards that they can use. And these are integration and prompt cards around shadow work, similar to what I'm doing here with my sample, so that people can use them and they can just upgrade to these products if they want to. So this is how I'm planning to do this. I keep seeing it as an experiment. And as I continue gathering more data and seeing how things are going, I will, adjust the path accordingly. But so far, this is what I'm doing. And I'm very excited about that hybrid version as well. And then having people come from like different sites, right? Like people from Amazon that purchased this. Also this year, next year, we are going to be represented at stationary fairs. So in London and in New York. And I'm going to be showing my products, some of my mastermind members' products as well. And together we have a stand. And this is also a way that we want to get into stores. We just want to get everywhere. And people will then, if they buy it in a store, they can say, hey, I'm going to join Level Up Journal Club. Quick recap. We looked at why it can make sense to productize your business. Very quick: trust, credibility, income stream, building an asset in your business, diversification, attracting more people. Lots of good reasons why you would want to do it. Building a legacy, passing your idea onwards, building a business out of something that you're very passionate about. So this is our anchor. Why do we want to do it, right? But then we want to find a path. And when I'm thinking of a path, I want to think of who am I trying to sell a product to? Who is the end person? And depending on what path you've chosen, if that is because you have a service business already, or if you have a topic you're very passionate about that you've solved for yourself and you want to pass on to others, you want to think of where is that person and with what exactly do I want to help them? At this point of time, as we're thinking of productizing our method, you don't need to have everything figured out. you really want to think of just a couple of things. You want to think of a problem that you're trying to solve or a desire that you want to help and support a person. What I find oftentimes is when people think of the path of how they want to pass on basically the gift, right? Like, hey, this is all that I've learned about this topic. Here it's for you. A lot of people overthink this part, right? Thinking that, my goodness, now I have to put every single thing into here, into this product. And often that is not the case at all. When we're thinking of a path, we can think of what do people usually struggle with. And this is going to be universal. So what do they struggle with? Clarity, right? They don't know, where do I start? Overwhelm, lack of motivation. It seems too hard. What else would you say most people, like, we don't even need to think of the actual problem just yet. We can think of universal things that people struggle with, no matter if it's weight loss, if it's family management, if it's studying for final exams, if it's learning how to build a business, if it's connecting to your children. What are the universal things that people mostly struggle with? Lack of motivation, it seems so hard. No step by step. They don't have it. No accountability. Desire, vision. They lack with vision. Being consistent, very good. I think feeling alone, right? Feeling alone in a situation. So I think, what does that mean? That would mean that they, maybe emotional validation in a way. Validation might not be the right word, but feeling heard, feeling like they can express themselves, feeling they need something to reflect, right? To understand, finding the time to implement. Yeah, finding time, finding a strategy, right? Often they have no strategy. Finding time, no strategy, no plan, no framework, how to think about it, right? Like, how can I think about the situation? And oftentimes with people that already have the solution, right? Like the person that has run 30 marathons, like, yeah, you have to do this, 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 and this, and watch out for that, right? The person that has not done that yet, it's like, I see a big blip. I don't even know. I don't know where I get started. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. It seems really hard. I feel very alone in it. I don't have an accountability. I feel really stupid. Like, there's all of these things, right? And that can be the same with, like, let's say a person that has ADHD and is a student and wants to learn. No clarity. I'm stuck in the same loop. I don't know where I should even start. I feel so overwhelmed. I have zero motivation. I'm just stuck in doom scrolling, right? You can apply these things for most topics. And if we're thinking of the path of what our methodology is, it's often solving some of these things, right? Common humanity. Yeah, it's common humanity. It's just what we all experience in different points, right? And our life experiences often teach us the hacks, how to go through certain things, right? 10 years ago, I dreamed of creating my very first journal. I had no freaking clue. Like, I had no clarity. I didn't even know where to start. I felt overwhelmed. I felt inadequate. I felt all of the things, right? And now, after me having gone through the experience so many times, I'm like, oh yeah, you have to do this, 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 and this. And we all have that in our topic, right? We know how we can support a person by asking the questions that they might want to ask themselves to get the clarity, by telling them, hey, just start here. That's all that you have to do. By helping them be motivated, maybe by sharing your story or sharing someone else's story, or adding some form of gamification or some form of nurture, right? Like, hey, you can do it. Like, it could be like small little sayings, or it could be just the way it's designed, right? We can come up with things that can help in our story, you know what I mean, in our product. And this is how we can think of a path first, and then the product is going to reveal itself, right? Because maybe this is a better example because I have both products with me. Why do we have two different types of products here? It helps with nervous system regulation. Both do. This one is more, it is explaining a lot more. It gives a lot more of like the back knowledge and has a structured daily accountability. Now, what does it do? It does lots of clarity. It helps. Where do I start? It helps with motivation. It explains it in a simple way, so it doesn't seem too medical and like out there, like, oh, that makes sense. I have a way of impacting my nervous system and I have a plan, a step-by-step plan, accountability and consistency by it having, you know, the different days. It comes with resources, but every solution, every product that we have usually brings a new set of problems. And this is totally fine. And this is why I want to share this first with you, because if you figure out like, hold on, this might overwhelm someone at certain times, or it might be too much knowledge. Maybe someone just wants get started, get the motivation. Once knows the knowledge already, just wants a prompt, just wants to support, regulate. So you can, thinking through the path, and this is why I'm sure you will think of at least 2 products today, because as you reflect on the problem or desire that you try to support, because even if you're trying to support with a desire, oftentimes it will be problems that pile up. For example, you have a product that is all around date nights and anniversaries. Like, it is a product that helps with a desire, right? Like, I want to have like keepsake with all of my dates with my husband and so on. But then suddenly we're faced with problems like, oh, I don't have ideas, right? What should we do? We barely have any memories. We barely take any photos. We barely do something very exciting and so on, right? Like, the problems will appear and usually they fit into something like that. And then when you're thinking of the path, you're like, what if it's a card game? What if it's a journal where you post your photos in? What if it's a little game where you take out a paper and then there's like a surprise activity and you must do it, you know, like you pick it, you must do, like, suddenly you will find a few different products that fit and solve different parts of what people are struggling around that topic. And you'll find that over time, products appear. In Evelyn's case, also, we have 2 different products, right? We have the product that help you think about your business, strategize about the business, right? Plan. But then for the day-to-day, when it comes to like, let's check off the task for every day, if we would have put it in here, the book would have been this thick. So it made a lot more sense to have it as a separate product. And also the day-to-day, it was great to be able to rip it out as well, right? Restart. Here you have the strategy, in the other product you have implementation. So if you want to think of your people, the people you are trying to support, what are different products that you think could help? And we can talk about a few more product ideas, and I'm very happy to brainstorm with you as well. What are different product ideas that could help them? If I want to give the person accountability, what could it be? Could it be a habit tracker? Could it be a game? Could it be a board on the wall that they have to tick off? Well, that's a habit tracker, right? But maybe a goal tracker. Are they lacking motivation? What could it be? Could it be a vision board kit? Could it be motivational cards that they put on a desk or on the bed? Because as we're thinking of the path and we're thinking of, because if we break this a little bit more down, I think it might even make it easier, because I'm jumping ahead a lot because I immediately think of products. But I think it might be beneficial to just slow it down just a little bit, because when we think of clarity, if someone is lacking clarity, what can support that? Good questions, right? Maybe an assessment can help, like a quiz, just an exercise can help. What else could help, right? Like, we can think of that. Okay, then when we think of where do I start, it might be a step-by-step process. It might be a quick start guide. It might be an exercise here again. It could be a story that you're telling. It could be a roadmap that you're showing them. If someone is overwhelmed, what can help with overwhelm? Breaking things down, showing them a roadmap, showing them the step-by-step, explaining to them they don't need to jump ahead. Do this thing first, then we go to the next. Encourage them. Lack of motivation. Gamification, showing them examples of how it's work. Storytelling. I think storytelling can be very, very motivational. Hearing other people's stories of how it has done. Showing them the roadmap, showing them how many steps it is. Talking to the future self, right? Like writing to the future self. It seems too hard. Here again, we could break it down step by step. If they have no step by step, giving them a step by step. Accountability, check marks, habit trackers. Vision. If they don't have a vision, what can we do? Help them build a vision by asking them questions, by giving them exercises. So for a lot of these things that people struggle with, we can give them, through the path that we choose to present to them, the answers or the support. And what I think is very important to keep in mind, you won't have a product that cures everyone's everything, right? It's totally fine. The product's goal is to help build progress. And there's going to be preferences for different things that people want and that people don't want. Focus on finding your people and creating a product the way that you like, that the way that you found success for yourself, the way that you would like to have the product, because you will find people that resonate with you. In the past, I've made quite a few mistakes, and one of them was trying to create a product I thought others wanted in the way I thought others wanted. And that totally backfired because I created a product that didn't have a clear standing. It was just wishy-washy. It wasn't something I would want to use myself. I was just trying to think of how people might think they want it. And I was trying to people please through my product, which didn't work because you cannot please everyone. And I ended up not liking my product myself. So that didn't work. You won't be able to please everyone. Everyone gets 1-star reviews as well. It's just part of the game. And create it the way that you find it helped you, the way that you see your methodology, the way that you think it will help the person get clarity. If you find too many questions overwhelming, don't put in too many questions. What would you do? Would you rather have them just write a letter? Okay, that's also okay, right? The path that you choose for your method is your path to choose. And then if we think of the vessel, once like, oh, okay, I would like to help with clarity. I would like to help step by step with accountability. Then we can think of the vessel. And the vessel is basically the physical thing. What different vessels do we have? We have so many different vessels. This is also a members product. I think it's so cute. I love it. She's a teacher and she's created these products for teenagers to connect and reflect. So this can be used in a classroom. It has prompts. What type of vessel is this? We have a card deck. Now, a card deck can have lots of different faces. It can be a more traditional card deck where if we think of like playing cards, right? Then we have more the spiritual, we have the tarot, oracle cards, right? Oracle, guidance cards. Then also we have more the affirmation type. One card deck type that I feel like is totally underutilized and underrepresented, but very powerful. I'm not sure if you know the PIP deck. So the PIP deck is a method. So they sell different methodologies. And one I have is for workshops. And basically you pull a card and it shows you, hey, this is how you can storytell, or this is how you can do this. So it's basically sharing different methodologies in a card deck. And I think that's such a really cool way of doing it. How will I call it? Like a framework. And then you're just sharing one framework per card. And I thought, I've seen that a few times, but I think this is totally underutilized and can be a phenomenal way for a coach or an expert. For example, we could have therapy. It could be like nervous system regulation. And I'm just making this up. If this is correct or not, I don't know. But let's just assume it is for the purpose of this. So we have a framework card. So it's a card deck. And then let's say it's all about nervous system regulation. So I feel dysregulated. I pick a card, and then it says, okay, now do 5 deep breaths. And maybe it has its own name, the 5 breath method. And then I read my card. I'm like, oh, the 5 breath method. I see the instructions, and then maybe there's even a QR code or so. And then there could be a whole deck for different methods that people are using. So we looked at card decks. There are more cards as well. There are prompt cards like we have here. And there are others as well. But think of the vessel being a card. Then we have journals and planners. And here we also have lots of different ways it can go. Right? We can have a blank journal, semi-blank journal, very structured journal. We can have a planner guiding through step by step. We can have a 3 weeks plan or 6 weeks plan or whatever, a whole methodology inside the planner and journal, and the step-by-step methodology. As an example, what is inside? It's the methodology that Evelyn and her framework, so it's a mixture of different frameworks that she works and some principles that she lives by. Put in here, it's a step-by-step, plus it has weekly accountability and planning. If we think back of different paths, we can mix different paths into a planner or a journal, which is then our vessel. What else do we have? We have boards. These are bigger printed papers. So that could be a habit tracker or any form of a tracker. It can be goal boards. It can be vision boards. And here again, what you want to think of to not overcomplicate it. Here we are creating a process that we repeat by the person having different pages. So they go through different pages. This is especially helpful if it's like a longer process and every day they need to do multiple things, or they want to reflect more things, or they need to write more things. If you have a bigger picture framework, maybe you don't want to fill a whole journal, or maybe in that case, it can make more sense to say like, hey, I might just want to have a small journal where people reflect, and then a big board where they put it somewhere on the wall. There's one interesting board. It's more like a poster. It's the 4,000 weeks. It's where you like tick off how many weeks you possibly still have to live. And it shows you how time's passing in life. And for some people, it's very, very motivating. For other people, it's anxiety building. But this is why you find your people. You will find people that really resonate with what you do. I thought it was really cool, so I got it. Because I thought like, wow, isn't it amazing to visualize how much life one has? At some point, I found it was anxiety inducing, so I left it off. But it's an example of a product type that has been very, very successful and sold a lot online, which is basically a paper board where you like tick off the weeks of your life. You know, every week you put a black dot. And you want to think of what is something that people would benefit of being able to put somewhere on the wall or somewhere on their desk, somewhere big. And big can even be just as big as this paper, right? It doesn't have to be like a massive thing. It can also be of that size. What could be interesting? Then we can think of pads, right? Notepads. Evelyn's product was a rip-off notepad, right? Like you write in your to-dos for the day, you rip it out. Here I have another product like that, just different material. But here, it's basically from purpose of the product, it has a similar way, right? So you're writing for the day. If you want to, just rip it out, and then you write down to get ready for the day. Here, this is following the methodology that Charlie is the wonderful lady that has created this product, follows, right? For her, it's all about having one focus, and this is her product. So it can be a notepad that people rip, right? And that can also be a habit tracker. It can be a daily clarity sheet. It can be nervous system regulation paper sheet. It can be something where you want the person to be able to just rip off. And often, if we again think of the path, what path does this vessel really fit in? It can fit with accountability. It can fit with consistency, often just processing, with overwhelm. So here we have different pads, notepads. And then the next one, something that I'm very excited about, sticky notes. So guided sticky notes. This is something that I'm venturing into. And I showed you the reason why I'm doing it this way. So these are sticky notes, you see? So I can stick them. I have a reward system, so I can put that somewhere. I can brain dump. Why did I do this? So I like to work on getting clarity. Oftentimes, I have no freaking clue what I need to do because I don't have clarity. I feel overwhelmed, lack of motivation. It seems so hard and so on. No accountability. So what do I need? I need some guidance, right? So I know like, oh, I have so and so much time left today or available today. These are my really important things. If I only write the important thing and I don't know the first tiny step, it overwhelms me too much. That's why I intentionally put in first tiny step. First tiny step gets me into the momentum, right? I write down what my goal time is for all of them together. Because I don't want to get over motivated just with one. I want to be playing against time with all three, right? So these are like some little things that over time I figured out. This is what I need to play my brain. I need reward systems. I need to be able to just brain dump something as well. I need to be able to take just one of those and put it on my screen and have the next two also on my screen. So I don't do something else in the meantime and totally forget that I wanted to do number 2 and 3 as well. I want to have reward. And these are ways that I'm just trying to hack my brain to get me to do the things where at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I did it. And I'm really happy and I'm proud of myself and I got the things done. So in this case, I'm working with different elements here and I'm using sticky notes instead of notepads. Although here, this is just a sample. I don't want all of them to be sticky notes because that's also a bit annoying. So some of it is going to be notepad and some of it is going to be sticky note. With the sticky note, I'm more consistent because the sticky note can follow me and I can put it somewhere I can see it. So this is one way that I can create that path for consistency and accountability and also playfulness. Sticky note. These are different vessels that I tend to work with. I recommend using some of these vessels because these are tested. They are known in the market, right? Like people have familiarity with like how a notepad is used. They have familiarity how a card deck can be used, how a planner can be used, how a board can be used, right? In my case, people have familiarity how a sticky note can be used, but I will have to do a lot more education here. Like, okay, how do I actually use this now? These are the 3 things. Let me quickly go over it now. So we wanted to know what the anchor is. Basically, what's the reason why you want to do this in the first place? And this is what you want to come out with clarity from this call. Multiple things can be true, but you want to know, why are you doing this? Why is this going to benefit you? Because this is a long process. I have to remind myself as well why I'm doing the products I want to, that I'm creating. Because the process is sometimes really long, especially until you get the sample. Once you get the sample and you're like, okay, I'm super pumped. I'm very excited to do this. But here you want to remind yourself. Then you want to think of your path. This either be a passion project that you have, something you figured out for yourself, or something that you have as a service business and you are helping people out. Usually you help people with a problem or a desire, or if you are a passion project to business person like I have been, you have a problem you've overcome, you have a desire that you've been able to get to, and here are the universal things that people usually struggle. How can we help them? These are different paths: prompts, games, exercises, daily planning. We didn't really talk about daily planning as much, but of course, daily planner pages, weekly planner pages, monthly planner pages. These are all things that help with that. Once you figured out what are the different paths that we can help a person get to solve the problem, that's when we can think of a vessel. And what you want to have by the end of today is 2 different product ideas, 2 different vessel ideas with a path. Maybe it's a card deck, maybe it's a journal, a planner, maybe it's a sticky note, kit, notepad, a board, and that's what you would want to look at. Okay, well, thank you so much. It was lovely having you here. I look forward to seeing you. Please just answer these 2 questions. 1, what is it that you want to gain out of having the product productized? And 2, what are 2 products that you like, 2 vessels, like what are the products that you could imagine for your business? Thank you. And then see you tomorrow. Bye.